Yeah, I think there's an argument to say that out of all the games that we've obviously lost this season, I know we didn't lose this. It's the first game we've drawn. We normally just win or lose, but this was up there with one of the most kind of
Really?
just poor performances out of them all. I actually think we were lucky to get a draw. I think if we'd won that game, Sunderland would have walked away going, that's an absolute crime how we've not won that game, or at least got a point. So we barely deserved to draw. They have a shot cleared off the line in the last minute. In another day that goes in. But for me, and I'm confident, and I'm saying it with my chest, that we didn't deserve anything really out of the game last night, because to deserve things out of a game, a draw or a win, you have to create chances, you have to create openings, you have to create connections on the pitch between your midfielders and your strikers in terms of, do you have that sixth sense yet? Obviously not, in terms of trying to slide Isak in behind, or even an early cross to Isak. And none of these things are happening. So yeah, it was one of the most abject performances I've seen at Anfield in a long time. And
even compared to some of the other games this season.
Do you know what? We even tried a little bit more in some of the games that we've lost at Anfield compared to that last night. Defensive errors again, giving the ball away. But for me, it's the lack of clear-cut chances that's the most worrying thing. We've had games this season that we've lost where we've created loads of chances, and you go, well, look, we've lost 2-1 at Palace, for example. We've hit the post 3 times. It wasn't our day.
Even against us, we beat you. Gakpo hit the post like three times
in
that
game. And then you go, look, we lost, but thank God we're creating chances. Now it's like, we're not even creating chances. So that's a big worry. And again, the lads that we would, almost think that are going to score, the Isaks, the Ekatikas, the Salahs, if I'm honest, they're all out of form at the minute. So yeah, I think I have to credit Sunderland. I think their manager's done such a great job since they've come in, him and his team. And again, he had probably 3 or 4 blueprints to go off, how to actually come to Anfield and at least get a point, but try and win. He could have looked at the Palace result, the Forest result, the PSV game. There's enough blueprints there for him to come and do a job on us. And he actually said after the game, I can't believe how much time and space we were allowed. And for me,
did he say that?
Yeah.
Wow.
He came out and said that, and for me, if I'm, a Liverpool player or a Liverpool manager, hearing them say that, I mean, it's embarrassing actually to see a promoted manager coming in saying, do you know what? We just were allowed all the time we wanted on the ball, can pick a pass out, and that is just not acceptable. Why are we not running more? Why are we not pressing them? There just doesn't seem to be any of that at the minute. So to answer your question, I was at the game. I wish I wasn't at the game, but I was, and what I saw was very poor, to be honest, mate. Very poor.
Wow, I didn't expect that. I thought it, again, I was just going off tweets.
People think I don't criticise Liverpool, by the way.
Oh, I know
Let's
you do.
dispel that.
Yeah,
because
I know you do.
If they're there to be praised, you know me, I'll praise them till the cows come home. But equally, I have to say what I see. And last night was very poor.
Can I ask you a question? And it's something that I spoke briefly about with Dylan before the start of the show. I dared Dylan to ask it. He probably is not going to do so, but I'm going to ask it. So I'm not sure if you've seen the interview that Craig Burley gave. He works for, is it ESPN, one of those American journals?
I've got it up here.
And he was scathing of Liverpool, in particular Virgil van Dijk, whom he labelled, and I quote, he's a coward. And he said that Van Dijk is not getting enough criticism for his performances.
So I've got the interview up here just for you and anyone watching, just to see what he said. So what he said is, Van Dijk is the barometer of what's wrong this year. He's supposed to be the leader, and all he's done is throw Kirkes under the bus and throw his arms up in the air. He's making as many mistakes as any other players. Every game you watch him and go, what is he doing? And then he went on to say, he does everything wrong, doesn't close it down, and turns his back like a coward.
Who's this? Who said
Craig
this?
Burley, ex-Chelsea player.
Burley?
Yeah, he's doing work for American TV at the moment.
I'll be honest, I've never heard of him.
No, you have heard of him.
Ex-Chelsea star, 54 years old. Let me look at how many games he played.
Look, I do think there is a certain level of, you have to hit a certain.
I mean, if there's
certain height,
there is some
yourself to
truth in that. In the way of Van Dijk has made mistakes. There's no getting around that. I mean, the PSV one, I called it laughable when I came out because I couldn't believe what I was seeing with my own eyes in terms of jumping up and punching it away. It's just unheard of. And then last night, I mean, yeah, he should go towards the ball, but he's being let down by his midfield. Your number 6 should be the first line of defence in that situation where the team that you're playing against has got the ball 30 yards from goal. your centre-back shouldn't having to be pressing up that high to go and get the ball. That should be Ryan Gravenberch, McAllister or Soboslai's job. That's the first thing. But the second thing is, well, they're not around, so I'm going to have to take the hit here and run towards this ball and block it. He kind of does this thing sometimes where he backs away, but he has made mistakes, yes, that's clear to say. But on the other hand, he in my opinion, for that goal, he was let down by his midfield. But to call Virgil van Dijk a coward when, you know, he does make mistakes. We lose every week in recent times, and he's there facing the media. He's not a coward. I think there's
strong words.
There's maybe it's a strong word for someone I've never heard of. But I mean, a coward is never a word I'd use to describe Virgil van Dijk.
Jamie Carragher is a different story, and you wouldn't have seen it, but last night I tuned into the last like minute of the Liverpool game just to hear what the post-reaction reaction was, and I wrote down what Jamie Carragher said here. He basically just said, really, really worrying, feels like it's a step back, the performance you put in last night. This is why I wanted to ask you what actually happened, because I turned around on telly to hear what Carragher said, and he was just astonished, and he basically spent 5 minutes going, I can't believe how much of a step back that was. Because I saw your lineup. We were speaking about this on the show. Me and Abby were talking about this on the show with Ben as well. We're talking about what should Liverpool be doing tonight. Obviously, we were saying this last night. First thing I said was keep Salah on the bench. Oh, and it worked against West Ham, where you played a more fluid front three of people interchanging left, right, centre, and in the middle, creating a bit more dynamism across your front three, which led to West Ham being more confused and led to obviously Gakpo's goal, and I forgot who else scored. Isak's goal. Isak was kind of at the front, then he pulled back and he scored a nice goal. And I was like, if it worked, don't change it. So Salah was benched, and I saw it, and I was like, that's the right decision. But then again, did it then go back to being way too static? Because before you've said to me, you feel like Liverpool have played within the width of the 18-yard box so many times. So I thought maybe having a more dynamic and fluid front four will then give you more time and space out wide. But was it also another case of Liverpool just playing too narrow?
I think if you create chances from wide or narrow, you don't care how they come, just create the chances. I think Liverpool, especially in the peak and the pomp of Klopp, we had high and wide fullbacks that get to the byline and cross it back. And how many times did we see Firmino or Mane at the back stick heading it in? And that was almost like a style that we mastered, really.
Gung-ho football.
Yeah. This season, not only are we not really using the fullbacks to overlap when they make the run, but we're not really crossing it that much. And I said this on the show earlier, you know, the amount of goals that Alex Isak scores for Newcastle where it's an early cross and he gets his head to it. You know, that width, we're not really seeing that from Liverpool this season. And we're not really seeing, you know, the link-ups that we've seen in I know it's very difficult to compare Mo, Mane and Bobby to the front three now because their connection was just off the chart. But it doesn't seem to anything kind of... Even Darwin and Mo had such a great connection. I think he assisted him
them two were like
so many times
last season.
So it is worrying how we're not creating chances from the wide areas, because through the middle we're just very predictable. You can just cut out our pass. We'll try and play it into Isak's feet, but what's he going to do with it at feet? We need him running in behind, or like he did against West Ham, you know, one-touch finishes. That's where we need him in the box, ready to just be pouncing on anything. So it is worrying. You know, cross the ball a bit more, lads. Have a bit of bravery and cross the ball.
I think the one thing I can say about Liverpool, and this happens to a lot of teams, it happened to you guys earlier in the season as well, is that confidence. When confidence is low, it affects everything, all areas of the pitch. And I think what we're seeing with Liverpool is a team that's lost its confidence. Now, that being said, I didn't see the game yesterday, so I can't comment on that. But the times I have seen Liverpool this season, they've not been at their... Well, they've been far from at their best, but once, you know what I mean, confidence has gone, you start seeing players second-guessing themselves, they make mistakes, they start blaming each other. You see...
they go into their shell and they don't take risks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's something that they're just going to have to fight their way out of. Because they are good players. No one's not going to tell me... I mean, that nonsense that Craig Burley... He should know better, by the way. He was a professional player, played at a high level. He should know better than to say something like that about Virgil, but... Yeah, these guys are good players, despite the banter that people like myself and Alex have. They're very good players. They won the title last season.
That's the other question that's being asked, is because literally Jamie Carragher came out the other day and basically when he reckons that Salah just doesn't have the legs anymore.
Well, maybe he didn't, but he had the legs last season, didn't he? So,
but could that have just been the last season he had the legs?
Possibly.
I don't know what Jamie Carragher's exact words were, but the overall thing was he basically said the other day he was like he just thinks the players' legs have gone. But I've seen it myself about players' legs are gone, and I've seen Jamie Carragher specifically say players' legs have gone. You know, Casemiro leave the football.
He said
the
that,
football's
didn't he,
leave
about
you,
Casemiro.
and the football's left him. 6 months later, Casemiro's
Back in the Brazil squad.
back in the Brazil squad.